I'm pretty sure we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel called 2LaneLIVE, where we ride motorcycles and do stuff. This episode is brought to you by Law Tigers Motorcycle Attorneys. Find yourself in a pinch, get in an accident, make sure you call them first before your insurance, because it'll work out better for you. Today we've got Brandi and Maggie in the house from Red Rock Harley-Davidson, and we're going to share some info on our track day on March 23rd, 2025, which Lance and Galen will be at. We'll be learning expert riding things. I can't think today. You guys go ahead and talk. I want to drink some water.
Well, maybe it's what you're drinking over there. I don't know what you're drinking.
This is water.
Maybe it's got some heavy stuff in it, but
I wish it did.
Hey, what did we eat for lunch today?
Fuck, I don't know.
You don't know? You said you could eat it again.
I also said I can't think. Burger 3000.
And if you go back and look at our drop from yesterday, you will see what Burger 3000 is. So go check it out.
And also, yeah, you just said that.
I guess I'd have to say, I think we need to figure out a way to get George on a trip with us.
Yeah.
We need George to do a podcast.
We got so many comments on him. That was great. It was good to showcase him a little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh, you know what? You guys are probably talking at a delay. So let me fix that real quick while you keep talking.
All right.
Yeah, fix that. We don't need to be on
we don't need that
delay. How do you fix delays?
We're not
cussing software,
right?
No, we are. I think.
But that was a fun little drop yesterday. Showcasing Josh, the whole thing. That was fine. Whatever.
It's great.
Whatever.
You know, he's a young guy. He's better to showcase.
Yeah.
But, it was really great because it was a day and a half, and what really goes down here. It was raw. It was natural. It was fun. We had fun doing it. People liked it, and we are now changing our whole vibe.
And for tomorrow at noon, we have a couple new shirts going live.
Ooh.
And the first 50 orders will get a giant 7x9x7 sticker, 2LaneLIVE. You can put on your bag, what have you.
Put it on your saddlebag, put it on your gas tank, put it on your toolbox, put it on your refrigerator.
And they're both short and long sleeves. One is called the Bodie, and what's the other one? Valley of Rocks?
Yeah, Monument Valley shirt, the Valley of Rocks.
So both inspired by trips we went on last year.
Yep. If you are not signed up to our email newsletter at 2lanelive.com, sign up to that. We'll be sending out a email blast at noon, California time. When it goes live, first 50 will get a free sticker. And I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, if you want to watch some cool videos, the one, like I said yesterday, was really fun to watch. You can see who the three of us are. So I would, you're on YouTube now, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button.
Well, I'm really excited about today's live here with Maggie and Brandi, the Platinum 2024 Platinum dealership. They've invited us to come out to Red Rock Harley-Davidson on the 23rd. We'll probably get there the 22nd, but on the 23rd, we'll be at the Las Vegas International Speedway. We will have some coffee and donuts in the morning, and then we're hitting the track with some great professionals, not only going to teach us how to ride better, but safety and the thoughts. And when we had Nick on, we had a lot of comments about, hey, that's cool to learn that. And just thinking about, are you putting your two fingers over your front brake? Just little things that sometimes you don't think about as a rider. So I'm really excited to get around the track with them and see what's going on and see how that class is. Because we've also, who did we have on the other day? That Margot. She also has been on that, 4 times, I think?
Yeah.
Or this will be her 4th time. So
there she is.
Very excited to hear that. Well, let's jump these ladies in here. These are some really talented, badass females, and we love them as friends as well. So, hey, guys.
How's it going?
How's it going? Good.
Take a minute and introduce yourselves, and then, if you can point to the sign behind, what does that say?
I'm Brandi.
And I'm Maggie.
We do marketing here at the dealership at Red Rock Harley-Davidson. I do all the event planning. Maggie does all of our digital amazingness. But Tell them about our award, Matt.
We definitely wanted to subtly drop this in the background that we work at a 2024 Barn Shield Platinum dealership. So we chose this backdrop just because we wanted to highlight Red Rock's recent award.
Yes.
We're super proud of it. We're top 3 dealership in the nation, and some of what comes with that is that we get to do awesome things.
Yep.
And I think a lot of that, it's customer service, it's
Yep.
what we do on the service end of things for our customers, it's our bike sales, there's a lot of things that contribute to that.
So
right?
many different factors that go into it, and it's not just given to everybody. It's not an award everybody gets. So it's really neat to see Harley recognize the hard work that we do here at Red Rock.
Yeah.
And you definitely do hard work. We've been to the dealership. You guys are one of the coolest. You get involved with the community. You do stuff with the people there. Your parking lot's always full with people learning how to ride. I mean, it is definitely a friendly, fun, good dealership to go to.
Thank you. We take pride in that. And it's something we train on all the time. It just doesn't happen. Obviously, it takes a lot of time. And thankfully, we have a great leader, Mike Plen, our GM. He sets the pace in this dealership and just works really hard. So it makes all of us just more encouraged and wanting to work hard to reach goals. So
definitely.
And it shows.
Well, we've been through a lot of dealerships across the country. And to think about everything from, the service department, which we know a buddy that runs that, to the sales team, to now we just found out you had a new salesperson that used to work out here in Southern California join you.
Yeah.
To the marketing team, to everyone that helped us when we were there at the meet and greets and or the meetup, whatever we want to call it. You can just see the dealership gel together, and it looks like everyone's having a good time. And I think you're right, Brandi. It's really leadership that helps focus that. But it also takes a lot of really motivated people, because you can't motivate people. You got to be motivated yourself. And you see that within the team there. So very cool.
Yeah, I think it's really neat. Like every time a lot of the days, rain or shine, it seems like our whole back lot, I think something that sets us apart from a lot of other dealerships is we all live it. It's not something we just come to work and do the job and then we clock out. It's like we ride to work, we ride home from work, we're riding on the weekends with customers, with friends. So it's just really neat to be a part of this team, because it excites me every time I pull in and I see everybody else on their motorcycles.
That's a good thing for sure.
We rack the miles and we're trading them in and buying new ones and doing all the things. So just as a customer, as we would as a customer, we're doing that as employees here.
Well, let's talk about the customer for a minute, because I think Nick was the one that was telling us he thinks you're the one and only Harley dealership that is doing these track days for their customers. Talk a little bit about how that came about and why you continue, because it's costly, but it's also you're teaching people how to ride better and understand the riding. So talk a little bit about how that came about.
So Mike started these track days before I was working for Red Rock. And it's funny because we were just talking about that the other day. Is we started in the parking lot doing these with Champ School. Like we took over the entire parking lot and they set cones up and drills up. So we started out in front of Red Rock Harley-Davidson. Like there was no parking for customers or anything, because Mike was like, it's important for us to, one, as employees at the dealership, know how to ride, but important for our customers to continue their journey. So if you just sell somebody a bike and send them down the road, what are the chances that they're going to come back and be part of your dealership? They're not. So we encourage them to come back, and Mike just saw value in training, and he's like, I don't care what it costs, we'll figure it out. Let's just keep spinning our wheels. So every year they've gotten better and better and better. And I'm excited because this year we're going to have you guys out here. I mean, Margot was on the podcast, like you guys said a couple of days ago. And I thought it was really neat that Margot came in, bought a motorcycle, and not even 6 months later, paid the money to go enjoy that track day. And because she wants to ride forever. Like she doesn't have any sight of never riding. So She invested in herself, and now she's at the dealership. She's doing like my moto mobility stuff here at the dealership. So our customers are not just customers; they truly become part of our family.
Yeah. Really is true.
Well,
And that's what this track day is about too. It's another like gathering of people who are really invested in this, super passionate. Like our customers that come out to the track day, they really care about those riding skills. They really care about riding for a long time, but they also really love getting to push their bikes and see what they're capable of doing in that setting. And I think you guys talked to Keith about this, but Champ Hughes, who goes out and trains with the engineers for Harley. So if you want to know how to ride your bike, how it was designed and how it was built for, these are the guys that are training for it. So it's a really cool opportunity to bring some of our most passionate customer base out to go have fun and spend a day ripping out at the Speedway.
It's really neat. I've got to do it. Like I said, I did in the parking lot before I was an employee, and I had so much fun with it. And then being able to be on the team and create the event every year to change it and make it fun and do things a little bit different to try to attract an audience. Training is so hard to sell, and it's crazy to me because Maggie and I both coach, and I'm like, we know the importance of learning to ride really well. Like, it's not something we take lightly. It's an investment in ourselves, and that's what's made us able to do all the rides that we have safely. I mean, we've gone across the country and back, and I think I owe that to those trainings.
Yeah, for sure. How long have you guys been riding?
Since 2008, I got my first Harley.
Okay, cool. How about you, Galen?
5 or 6 when I was what am I, almost 60, so 54 years.
Okay. I feel like what I'm most excited to have you guys come out and do is let us know what you take away from this training. Because no matter how long you've been riding, everyone walks away with something that like this aha moment, and it completely changes the way they ride after this. Like we've gotten that from different customers. We've been riding. I had a good 10 years under my belt, 8 years before I took my first track training. And like the next weekend, you're just like, holy cow. Like you're out riding and like doing your regular weekend rides, and you're riding completely different. So I would love to chat with you guys when we get to see you here and see afterwards what things have stuck with you after this training.
For sure. And you shall, for sure.
No, we're leaving right after. We're out of there.
Well, we'll see on your adventures. I think you go to all these places, like Brandi said. Like Brandi has ridden and done touring all across the country and gone international. I've done a ton of riding overseas, and like these trainings like affect that for sure. And like
definitely,
I have not done Tail of the Dragon, but I'd rather do it after having gone to track day and learning how to take corners and use trail braking and all of that stuff.
I like that Nick, when he was on our live, he said he was watching our videos and he loved seeing the fact that we were using our brakes going into corners.
Yeah.
So he was like, that made him happy.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. It'll be fun and it'll be open-minded. But I never told you guys, I was in 2008 when I first got my Harley, I was a national champion on Bagger Race League. I have trophies to show you.
Nice.
You're supposed to say, there was no league back then.
So, I thought you were a founder. You could have been the one starting stuff. I've seen videos of what you and your son have done. I wouldn't be surprised if you started it in your backyard somewhere.
Well, I think that's part of the, having him on and listening. I'm self-taught. And then when I was raced, we didn't even generally wear helmets, and we were riding on the dirt and doing stupid things. And we talked about this with Nick as well. Like Lance, like he said, he was actually not in the Bagger Racing League. He was the king of the Bagger. No, but he would go in the parking lot and work and try and get the things right, and so he could get ready. And then it was slow riding, and so, and then over the years, us riding together, you can see that he's improved because I think it probably started with the Sturgis crew 9 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guys, his son and Luke, and these guys are not slow riders.
Yeah.
And so you're keeping up with them, and it's much easier for him to keep up today than it was back 9 years ago. But it was even hard for me, and I'd been riding all my life.
Yeah.
So I'm interested too to see what I learn and what I pick up and go, why didn't I think of that? Or good, I'm glad I'm doing what he thought I should be doing.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, my training was chasing 10 guys that were fast through canyons. Literally, my first trip to Sturgis was, we're going 100 miles an hour no matter what. And it used to piss me off. But what I've learned, and I think it's going to help me a lot in the track thing, is following these guys and going as fast as I can to be with them, and then them doing stuff where they're stopping and turning, and I have to be so watching them and stopping quick, or I'm going to be all over them. So there's a lot to learn, but it'll be fun to see how that translates on the track.
Most definitely.
Can't wait.
And in a controlled setting.
For sure.
Like you had that moment. You were riding over 100 miles an hour the whole way to Sturgis, and you're like, am I in over my head? Should I be doing this? Maybe you had some of these thoughts, or you're like,
in the beginning, I was.
What do I wish I had done before signing up for this? Like I had a moment in Utah when I first got on Pan Am. So I've been doing a lot of Pan Am training, been doing a lot of stuff with Pan America, and doing a lot of off-road training. But before I did it, I just jumped on a Pan Am and was like, I ride motorcycles. I got this. Let's go figure this out. And I was doing some dirt roads in Utah. And as one does, you find sand eventually. And I was there by myself, pulling all the bags off, sweating profusely, being, how did I get in this moment? And what could have helped me before getting into this situation where now I have to get myself out? And the training I have done in the off-road has helped those situations. There's been times on the pavement that I'm riding with a group, and I think of those moments in training and those track training days, especially when we're riding in a group ride and we're mobbing, like you get that flow going with your group. Like I am so grateful for the skills and the seat time that I've put down. And I did it before I got to that moment. I didn't like just get it in that moment. We've done a lot of time like on the track in a closed space where we're not having to worry about oncoming traffic. If you go wide in one of these turns and you're following, Travis Wyman's going to be out there, the Wyman brothers, Cody's going to be out there. If you're following one of the Wymans and you just don't pick the right line and you end up going wide, you don't have to worry about oncoming traffic on the track. And we have this controlled area where you can play and get comfortable on your bike and what you need to do with your body position, with your speed, with your braking to have a really good time. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. And I think you guys, and just like most of the general population, they don't think about the training because the experience comes on the road, we think, right? But when we get to take the opportunity to take these trainings and do these things in a controlled area, it really gives us the skill to be out there and confidently riding canyons versus, I mean, I remember chasing two girls through a canyon in California. I had no business riding as fast as those girls were. They ride that canyon every weekend. But I was like, I'm not going to not keep up. And I was definitely riding outside of my skill level. But now, I mean, I any opportunity I get to take a class, I'm like, yes, please. Because no matter what type of training it is, it's motorcycle training and it's going to translate no matter if you're in the sand, on the road, on a fire road. Like the more that you can put in your basket, the more confidently you'll be able to ride.
And it's really not about going fast. It's about, if you're on a track, you want to go a nice speed, you want to be smooth, but the small stuff in the parking lots and the tight little donuts and the small turns and putting your foot down when you're stopping. And people don't realize once you can mess around slow on your bike, you can grow into the speed.
For sure. And everybody just thinks like, oh, I'm a good rider because I can go fast. I'm like, go slow with me. Let's go slow.
Try going slow. We also offer a skilled rider course for that.
So set the tone. What's the day going to be like for us? Like from start to end, we're 8 o'clock, we're going to be at the track.
Yep.
So from 8 to 9, that's y'all's time. So it's meet and greet, donuts, coffee, hanging out, getting ready. The Champ School team will come out and get everybody in order and figure out exactly how they're going to break everything up, put you guys all together, which makes the most sense for them. You'll do some drills in the parking lot, and then we'll head over to the track, and they'll start utilizing the track to implement the skills that you learned in that controlled smaller area at slow speeds.
How
So-
far is the track from the dealership?
I'd say like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
But we're doing everything at the track.
Yeah.
So we won't be at the dealership at all. So you guys will meet us
gotcha.
out at the track. We'll be everybody will be at Las Vegas Motor Speedway that morning. Nothing will be at
So
Red
off
Rock
Craig.
Road.
Off
Correct.
Craig Boulevard.
Hollywood and the 95.
I'm really bad with directions.
Yeah, I am too.
Like where the drag
When
strip
we're
is?
going to Utah, we go right at the speedway.
Yeah, by the gas station. We always
Make
get
sure
gas
you guys
at
are sleeping
76.
somewhere close
Yeah.
so that you can just
You're
roll
very
out of
close.
bed.
We'll find it. We know we've ridden by it many times.
Absolutely.
So let's make that a point as well. So people need to sign up, and if they use our code, which will be in the links here, and if it's after March 23rd and you're listening to this, the code's not going to work. So, but they need to go in, sign up in order to come in early to the track to hang out and have some coffee and donuts, right?
Yes.
Correct.
So this is with you guys, the meet and greet for this track day, it's going to be specific for people who are attending the track day and getting the training. So it will be at the Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
And, we've been hyping this thing up. We've been doing a really good job. So
Yeah.
we wanted to let everybody know there's only like 3 tickets left.
Yeah. We're
So-
almost at the,
Really?
we're sold out.
Yeah, we might only have a few spots left. So we're really encouraging people to get in there. There's a possibility we might be able to open some up, but we like to keep the group small. The training Champ U really does a good job of pairing like a smaller number of riders to the coach so that you are getting the most one-on-one time that you can in those sessions. So
And we're not
Again,
opposed.
critiquing.
Yeah. And we're not opposed to hiring another coach for
Yeah.
Champ U if we have more people that are interested in it, because it is really important. And we want people to be skilled riders so that they can continue to ride throughout their entire life and come trade in 1,000,000 bikes and get 1,000,000 services here at Red Rock Harley-Davidson. Buy all your motor clothes here.
But yeah, we're
So
coming
it's
down
an
from
all-day
about-
event?
Yeah. So after some initial training, there will be a break for lunch.
Yes.
Everybody will be wolfing down their food so they can get back on the track at that point. But there will be a little pause where everybody can take a break, coaches can take a break, and then we'll
For
get
sure.
back out well into the afternoon. I know there's some like slower U-turns out on the track.
Yep.
There's some braking drills where they let you get up to some speed on your bike and practice braking safely. And they give some really good tips on that.
For sure.
But there will be some, like Brandi said, in the parking lot, some controlled stuff before heading out and then going out and ripping. So
I swear, like every time I take this class or I do parts of it, because sometimes I'm working it and kind of trying to jump in and do some things to learn, because I want to be a skilled rider too. I always take something away from it. And it's interesting how like I'll be riding and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this, or I should try this. And, waiting the peg or something, like all these different things. And it's cool. It's like these little light bulbs as I'm going down the road. And I'm like, this is so cool.
yeah, there's always something to take away. And
For
like,
sure.
I think, we've all been riding for a while, and this is something that people who haven't been riding for a while can definitely come out to. Like
Oh, yeah.
Margot's a great example. She was just hungry after she got her license. She got a bike and she wanted to like keep growing her skills, and she keeps coming back to the same class
Yeah.
because she takes something away different every single time she takes it. But like, I think in the last couple of years, me and Brandi have both become coaches. And I think
Yeah.
that's affected my riding as well too, is like when you're teaching safety to people, it's top of mind. It's easy. The longer we're riding, we're either developing bad habits or we're developing good habits. And this is one of those things that gets you back on that positive side of things, is like, we get a little lax when we ride. We go long enough without anything,
For sure.
giving us that like,
Oh shoot, butt
oh,
pucker.
shoot, yeah, exactly. You go long enough without that feeling, and it happens all the time. But like, it's good to touch back and take these courses and just refresh and bring safety top of mind again. It just gets those good habits back in place. And
Absolutely.
I'm guilty just as anybody of it
For
falling
sure.
off from time to time, the longer we are in it, for sure.
I think one of the cool stories that I've heard post track day is we had a sales guy that went and took the track day, and he was out on a demo ride, and a car pulled out in front of him, and he was able to utilize the skills that he had learned in the track day to not totally miss the car, but make it a lot better scenario than it would have been. So they barely clipped his bag. He was able to keep the bike up. He got off the road, put his feet down, and all was well. But I think that's one of the coolest things to hear, is because these guys that are out on test rides are doing this every single day. And if they're not training and practicing, like, things could happen like that. And they could yell and scream at the driver of the car or whatever. But honestly, as a motorcyclist, you should take the responsibility for your ride and get the skills that you need to be able to avoid situations. Like, we can point fingers all day and flip people off, or we could take responsibility for ourselves and learn to ride.
Get really good.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if we have any good habits in our riding. We're just
we'll help you
balls to
with
the
that. That's
wall
why
all
you're
the
coming
time.
out here. We noticed. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know. And we're typically daily riders as well, and so it's not like we just do trips, but we're on the bikes almost every day of the year.
Yeah.
In fact, Josh has to be on the bike now because he's no longer got a Dodge pickup in his stable.
Oh, no.
The man with the exploding trucks. Yes, I said multiple. Unfortunately.
So, and here's the other cool part. We get to spend a couple days with you guys, and we're excited about that as well. Cause we've had both of you on the show. And we're just, we love you guys, and we love your significant others as well. So we're excited to spend a couple extra days there. So we'll have to find another steakhouse. Dustin will have to figure that out. But
I'm sure
talk
he's
just
got
a
an
little bit
arsenal
about,
of them.
yeah, and talk a little bit about each of your backstories, because I think it's important. Although you've been on the lives, you guys have done some really cool things. Maggie with the international travel, and Brandi, you doing some of the Sin City and Daughters of the Road. Maybe each of you take a couple minutes and just talk a little bit about, outside of the dealership, what you are doing personally and what your past has been back about a little bit.
Start it off, Brandi.
Me?
Yeah.
So I started riding in 2010, and I mainly rode with the boys. I had a lot of fun. Learned a lot of bad habits, but it was awesome. I'm so grateful for that. But started the Sin City Moto Girls in 2016, just because I started riding with girls more, and I saw the need for a little more training. Not that there was the girls, it was just for me riding in a different group from what I was used to. And I was like, man, they're taking these classes, they're doing these things, but it's not enough to keep us all safe in a group. So that's why we started the Sin City Moto Girls, because I was huge on education. I wanted people to be safe. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to enjoy all the trips that we could go on. So started the Sin City Moto Girls in 2016. We're still chugging along. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to create space for women to have fun on motorcycles. Daughters of the Road also, I'm doing a podcast. I do a podcast with Kristen Lassen, and we talk about women in power sports. So that I love, obviously, because I think it's important for us to continue to tell people's stories, because all of us are different. And that's a platform that we're able to do that from. So love doing that with Kristen. What else do I do, Maggie?
You're a coach.
Oh yeah, I'm a riding academy coach. I tried that once. I actually tested twice to be a riding academy coach. The first time, that time in my life, it was just not for me. I didn't think training was important. I was like, I want to ride in my Vans. I want to ride in no gear. I just want to ride my ride. I don't want to be told what to do. And whenever you become a coach, you take that responsibility. You want to set an example. And that time in my life, I just wasn't ready for that. So took the class again in 2019 and got all my credentialing done and started coaching here at the dealership in 2020. I love coaching people. I'm more of a one-on-one person though versus a group setting. I like to take the time to go over everything, and if you have needs for extra training, I want to take that time with you instead. And when we're in a class setting, we can't do that. It's not fair to everybody else that's taking the class. So I like a lot of one-on-one stuff, and I'm always down to help anybody. That's where my passion is. That's where my love is. That's what fuels me, is watching people break barriers that they didn't think that they could do. And I don't know, that's me.
What other group did you join this year?
Oh, and one of the things that I'm really proud of, actually I wore my jacket. Got it, Maggie, please. So one of the things that I did last year that I'm really excited and proud of is I became a motor maid.
No way.
All right.
So one of the reasons what's that?
Yeah, that's like one of the oldest women's motorcycle groups. I think she started in 1941 or something.
Yeah, I'm really bad because I don't remember a lot of things, but yes, it was the first, and it's sanctioned by AMA. So really proud of this. And what is really neat about this one, this actual fit here, is one of the ladies, it's been passed down twice. And the woman that passed it down to me is amazing. She's still riding. She can hardly walk, but that woman comes into this dealership and she is telling her husband how things are going to be done. Like, it's awesome just to see and hear her story. So I'm really thankful to be part of that. And the whole reason that I did that was just to honor the women that came before me. Like, I'm not the very first motorcyclist. I'm not doing anything that these women before us did. So I just love doing it and I want to be part of it. And that was how I wanted to honor the women before me.
Excellent.
Very cool. And after the podcast, your father was commenting while you were on the podcast, I think, and you guys hadn't been together for quite a while, and now you have, and now you got one of his choppers.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm really excited. That's like a lifelong dream. As a little girl, I always remember my dad riding motorcycles. And it's been really neat to be able to ride motorcycles with him and now ride one of his choppers. It's pretty sketchy. I love you, Dad. I don't know how he put that thing together, but I'm so thankful for Dustin because he's like, hold on, babe, let me check this. Let me do this. And I get to ride his bike. So, and he trusts me to ride them now. And that's something I never thought he would be able to do.
That's good. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in West Texas. So Midland, Odessa. That's where I was born and raised. I moved out to Vegas for a little bit when I was younger. I think I was like 3 to 5. And then my mom said I was bad. So I had to go to my dad. So she sent me back to Texas. I don't know how you're bad.
I can see you were bad for sure.
Trying to take the chopper.
Yeah. No. But yeah, so lived in Vegas a little bit, moved back to West Texas, stayed there for as long as I could. When I was an adult, I decided not for me anymore. I want to get out of here. It's a small town. So I moved to Dallas and then I ended up in Vegas and I love it here. It's easy to do anything I want to do, from snowboarding to playing in the desert, riding motorcycles, shooting guns. I can do all of that here.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Brandi, I don't know if y'all know this, but she goes 100 miles an hour. And she's also like one of the most giving people ever. She is one of the driving forces behind the community that Red Rock has been able to cultivate.
Oh, 100%.
Hugely. And she throws kick-ass events for the dealership. She has done event stuff outside of the dealership that always ends up such an incredible experience. And she's been inspiring women all over the country and internationally. She's been taking women internationally and like
this
doing
one
trips
too
and stuff. And, like, I'm always super grateful that I get to work beside Brandi because we've got some powerhouses over here. We get to do really cool things in the dealership, thanks to Mike having the trust in us to grow what we've got going on here. But
absolutely,
we definitely know that. And I remember last year or the year before, we were walking in Daytona. And you were walking and you were a distance away, but it's like, I remember looking over and going, I know her. I've seen her on Instagram, but I don't know her. We've never met you.
Yeah.
And you're walking and you looked at us, and I know you were probably saying, "Hey, I know those
I know
guys." And
those
and then we said hi, and ever since then we've been friends.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. Like I think
3 years
that-
ago.
Maybe 3 years ago.
it's
I
been
don't
a
think-
while
yeah.
too.
Yeah, how long ago?
So it's not been that long
One?
ago. It's been 3 years.
2 years. Because
22?
it's Daytona right
Well,
now.
we didn't
right?
go last year, and we didn't
We
go
went the
this
year
year.
before.
So I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, the
might
the
be.
third.
I think it's 22 because
Yeah,
you
this
did
is-
biker bells. You led the biker bell ride.
Yeah.
The ladies ride.
I feel like that's how I met a lot of people in the industry too. It was like they saw my face on the internet a lot and were like, "Who is? Where did she come from?" And then we.
You know what
meet
I
and we're
remember
like,
the
"Oh,
most?
you're weird."
She's on.
The
You're not
girl
weird.
with the dark hair with half of it shaved off.
Yep. At the
That
time
was my
I was
memory.
rocking the shaved head with the tattoos sticking
Yes.
out.
I said
think it
she
caught
must
a
be
lot of people's
badass.
attention. Yeah.
Maybe we better steer clear. She might beat us up.
I just broke out of prison here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So-
I did all my riding overseas. So I grew up in Texas too. There must be something in
Yeah.
the water.
Badasses are made in Texas.
Yeah. But I didn't start riding until 2015. And I talked about my story a little bit before, but me and my brother started riding in Vietnam. We just bought motorcycles and went for it. And I was like, if somebody can do it, I can do it. So we went and did that together. And after that, I was hooked and I did all my riding overseas. So I feel like I was very much out of the loop. And I was like on Instagram and on social media following all these badass women and all these events that were happening in the States. And I'm like, man, I can't wait till, one day I'll go back to the States. I was living on an island. I was living in Bali for a few years,
Maggie has-
running social.
When you have
motorcycle
time, you need
things.
to hear all of her stories. Like motorcycles are great, but this woman's got to do some really cool travels and walks
Yep.
and
walking.
challenging things that most humans don't even think about.
Think about doing. But if somebody did it, I could probably figure out a way to do it. But yeah, once I came to the States, it was 2021 that I bought my first Harley, and the pandemic was happening. I couldn't really go be overseas. And all I had known was how to make friends riding motorcycles around the world. So I was like, if I buy a Harley, I'm sure I'll find my tribe. So that's when I was riding everywhere. I met a bunch of people from Harley-Davidson. I got to ride with Karen Davidson that summer, the first summer I had my first Harley, and got connected to all these incredible people and women leading these events and influential people in the space. And then by the next year I was a brand ambassador, and that's when I bumped into you guys. I was leading a ride in Daytona 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Which I think, what was it, the year after? The next year? Last year you led the ride in Daytona last year, right? Yeah. So bumping into all these incredible people and continuing to learn and get that seat time, honestly, everything outside the United States is pretty small, small motorcycles, small bikes on islands and stuff. So I came and I got my Lowrider S, and it was probably the biggest bike I had been on, and just put a ton of miles down. And I was like, seat time. I just need seat time. But it really has been the training that has kept me on the road and on the road safely. And all I want for me and all my motorcycle friends is for us to ride well into where we can't barely
Hundreds.
walk. Yeah,
Hundreds. We're never going to stop. We're going to
we
keep
meet
riding
all
forever.
these people along the way that have been riding forever, or have this history. In some ways we're trailblazers, but there were many that came before us, and I'm super grateful to get to meet those women and those people that have done this forever. And I am very fresh and green and new, and I feel like I bring that excitement to it. But I continue to do training and all these other things to make sure I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this from my life. I don't want to lose the people in my life. I want everybody to get better. So I actually gifted Justin, which you may know him. He's a face around. I gifted him this last year, the last one that we did. It was my present to him is I ride behind you and I want you to ride really good now. So
Nice.
I sent him off to training so that, he was in preparation for this big trip to New Zealand, and he was going to be going and riding overseas with a friend. And I'm like, you really should do this. It's an investment in yourself. It's gonna, no matter what bike you're on, you're always gonna have this skill. It's not parts, it's not anything else. That's not gear. He loves his gear. I'm like, none of those things are gonna make you ride better.
Right.
But this training, you, no matter what bike you're on and for the rest of your life, it will impact it. And he took that course, went to New Zealand, and he was like, called me from over there. It was like, thank you so much. That was the best gift you could have given me because you care about me. And now I'm like, it's impacting how I'm riding immediately. And I'm taking it everywhere in the world with me now. So that's something that, you know, in our journey, like as we've become coaches, as becoming a coach, learning more skills, it totally changes how you ride. And
I'll back that story up because Justin, I remember I was going to bring it up earlier and I forgot, but he did it and he was like how excited he was and to tell us about it. It was great. So affirmation.
Yeah, for sure.
Dustin too. Dustin's taken it I think 3 times. And he's a great rider. He's been riding since he was 3. And he always tells me, he's like, that was such a fun class, or that was really cool. He always takes something away from it. And it's really neat to hear him say that because Dustin's a man of few words. And so when he tells me something like that, I'm like, okay, cool. It actually impacted him because otherwise he wouldn't say anything.
Well, sometimes the stunt guys can't really ride the canyons as well as they can stunting. Not all of them, but I'm just saying. And so, I mean, you take away that skill set. So your cornering's different. Your entry and exit speeds are different. You learn that stuff. And so it's cool.
Definitely. I'm really excited. Maggie and I have a little adventure we're getting ready to go on, and we're taking a woman that's a stunt rider. She's been a stunt rider her entire life.
Yeah.
She still is, but she's excited to get on a Harley and take a long trip with us. And for me, it's like a dream come true because I always watched her and admired her and thought how cool it was like to have that level of control and be able to do the things that she's able to do on a motorcycle. And like us, I'm like, we just ride in a straight line. So I'm really excited to like see her come to this side of the world and try a long trip and enjoy miles with us and see how amazing and sometimes frustrating, like the moods that you go through and the way the environment affects you and how much sleep you got. Like, it's really neat to get on these trips. And I don't know, it's like builds a bond between us, and excited to have that and have her.
There's
along
nothing better than trips. Nothing better than long
Yeah.
trips. And even a lot of the young riders that do just short runs and here and there, they all say, "Guy, I want to put a bag on my bike and go somewhere and be gone for 3 or 4 days." You know, that's what it's all about. And that's
Agreed.
so healthy and so good. You learn so much.
For sure. It was funny. We went on a really cool like trailblazer ride last year with a bunch of badass women in the industry, or just girls that ride. We all work for somebody in the industry, but it was really neat because I was like, man, we've got 8 girls that are all very strong, very independent, really good riders. Like, this could go one of 2 ways. And it was so cool because we made a safe word. So like we were like, dude, if we need to just get away and not talk to each other, there's got to be a word or some kind of sign that says, hey, get the away from me. I don't want to hang out with you right now. I need a moment for myself. We didn't have to utilize it, but I think maybe once.
Maybe once. Towards the end, we definitely did. Does Josh have a safe word with you guys?
Well, guys seem to get along real, even if they disagree with something, it's like, let's go, let's keep moving, let's do this, let's do that,
Well,
we forgive easy.
Don't get
Actually,
hangry.
I was literally just going to say the only issue I run into is getting hangry and impatient.
Yeah.
I think we've been blessed with I mean, Lance and I'll get at each other a little bit sometimes, but for our group, like the 10 or 12, we don't fight about where we're going to go eat. Everyone's just so into like, okay, we'll make things work out, whatever, doesn't matter. And we rarely have any issues at all.
It's never even been a discussion. It's just, here's where we're going, and we go.
So, and even in our smaller group, it's we just work through whatever the issues are. Like, we're supposed to be here, so what? We're going to stay here, and we'll figure it out from there. But I think the trips, to his point earlier, are definitely where it's at. And
Where
I
are you
don't
guys
think
headed
5
next?
years. Yeah, I don't think 5 years ago we would have thought that these bikes have taken us all over this country. We were travelers, but we weren't like country travelers. I mean, it's been insane.
You guys have seen
Next,
so
we're going to go
much.
to Red Rock Harley and do a training class.
Yeah.
Are you guys have anything else you're going to see while you're out here? Do you need suggestions?
Oh,
We,
An out and back?
we're going to go out and back, and Josh isn't going to be with us.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some filming ourselves. We're going to have Justin. We're going to do some track filming, figure all out. That's why we got to talk to Justin on Monday. And then we're going to go home and just get a really cool video out of it.
Cool.
Nice.
What's your next big trip, though?
And some really good training.
What?
And some really good
You're
training.
going to get some great training.
yeah, after
Yeah.
the training, our next trip will be running the canyons of Malibu, Southern California, testing our training out.
Yeah.
Nice. We need
Be
a
cool.
follow up
Well,
on that.
Yeah.
Well, the end of the year always gets, we always start the year out strong. We did a really great trip in Monument Valley. We hung out in Navajo Nation. We have
Yeah.
new friends and family there. They took us on some private tours and played music, and we learned so much about the nation there, and we got to experience it, and we're going to go back and back. But now that we had a little bit of lull there, we're going to be going to Homecoming. We're going to be going to 5 dealers along the way. We got Sturgis, Durango. So the end of the year is going to be really strong.
Yeah.
But the last drop you'll see next week, starting off, is we took the wives up to Hollister, California.
That was great.
Which is where there was a big supposed riot on July 3rd, 1947. But it was servicemen coming back off of World War II, and they say just blowing off steam. Then we ran over to Capitola, which is up by Santa Cruz on the coast, dropped down to Paso Robles, and then home over 3 or 4 days.
Nice.
Which is great. We've talked about the pig trail. We don't know if we're going to do that yet or not, but we've got a few things planned. Oregon coast, and then we'll start kind of the homecoming jaunt and all. It's going to be a busy year, as it is every year.
And we might start the Beards and Burgers tour.
Yes.
Oh.
We found this amazing burger joint the other day, right?
Hey, so on the way to Hollister, we did some roads that were so unbelievable that we call them the surprise roads, because you'd be in these valleys and meadows, and it's 2-lane, and you would go down a gully and you'd come up and you'd get to a top of a hill, and you had no idea if it was a right turn or left turn, 0 signs. And you drop in, and then another, for miles, but it was so fun and roller coaster, just up and down, left, right. It was the best time. So now we might have to do it after the training course.
That would
That
be
sounds
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
I've never been to Hollister, but I know we used to do like a big rally, or do they still do a big rally every year?
They stopped it for a couple of years, I think, due to COVID, and they're having it this year, so we're told.
Nice.
But yeah, it was more of a motorcycle club kind of rally initially, and it still kind of has that flavor to it. There's a famous bar downtown called Johnny's, and that's kind of where the booze fighters were actually started. So there's a lot of homage out there to the MCs.
Yeah, you'll see a picture of Hell's Angels, booze fighters, different monuments. There's a monument at the bar. But the cool thing is we walk in the bar, it was morning, we were doing a little filming. So we got a beer, our wives were with us, and there's 2 guys sitting at the bar talking. One guy had a cowboy hat on, and he's kind of looking at us and looking, and he walked out of the bar. He came back in, and in his hand, in the package still, he had one of the hat holsters that we made. And he said, "Hey, look, I bought this from you guys," and it's like,
so we had a personal model show him how to put it on. Lance had to, it was still in the package, and the guy was like,
awesome.
So Lance set him up and got him taken care of. But it was, in the middle of nowhere, and
I might need to get one.
I have one of those, and I'm
Great.
excited to hit Montana at some point this summer so I can bring my hat.
I'm excited.
There
I'm
you
going to have to
go.
grab one too, because I've been wearing hats a lot more, and I really like them.
they work great, but it's got to be a structured hat.
yeah,
If it's a
gonna
soft hat and doesn't have a big brim, might not work, you know.
Well, I got a nice wool hat. I've got a straw hat. I've got.
You got one that'll work.
We'll bring you a hat holster when we
Texas
come
girl
out.
at heart.
Yeah, we'll bring you one.
That's awesome, though.
Hey, so a couple of the
It's like...
the viewers are asking, do you guys A, like to go to rallies, and B, if you do, which one is your favorite rally?
You go first.
Yes, we go to rallies. We go to all the rallies.
Yes.
I think between me and Brandi, we probably have got all the rallies covered.
Yeah, we love rallies. I mean, that's
Yeah.
where I get the ideas for the dealership. I love going to events that other people throw so that I can steal all their ideas and use them here at the dealership. But yes, love rallies. They're always a good time.
And I think, I mean, for me, especially now, after having been around it and going to so many, it's like a family reunion.
For
Like,
sure.
it is a really good time to see everybody, bump into friends that you don't normally get to see, people who you want to connect with across the country. It's a great place to do that. I've never been to Arizona Bike Week. We're going to be heading down to Arizona Bike Week to showcase what that's going to be like.
Yeah.
I don't know where that one ranks for you. I've never been, but
Arizona's cool. I think it needs a little flavor to me. But I love rallies and that one, just like Las Vegas Bike Fest, I feel like they're comparable. So, but I'm excited. There's obviously the dealerships are getting more involved and doing things. So I'm excited to see what's changed this year. Every year, I feel like Arizona Bike Week has been different. I started going to Arizona Bike Week, I think in 2014 or something, 13. And
it'll be interesting
definitely
to see.
changed.
Yeah. I wonder, I think it's hard to say, like, which is the favorite. I think I definitely have a favorite on the East Coast, and that's Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival. That event, that rally is so fun. It's like such good people, such a rowdy good time. And then when I think of like Sturgis probably falls somewhere like in the middle. You got to go to Sturgis.
Yeah.
At least once. And then what about like West Coast? Because I haven't done Born Free. Which I know.
It's in your backyard, Maggie.
You'd like it.
I haven't done
You'd
Born
like
Free.
it.
But what do you think West Coast wise, Brandi?
West Coast wise,
I haven't done Four Corners. Like
I like
you've
Four
got
Corners.
those covered. They're doing a Diablo run this year.
EDR is really, really fun. So that's, Built Well throws a ride in Mexico, El Diablo run, and that one's really, really fun.
Have you guys done that one?
We have not.
It's
Ooh.
a really good time. Like Built Well, anything Built Well throws, I really enjoy.
Kernville Campbell is pretty fun.
Yeah, I think they're like community based, like what we do here at the dealership, like is modeled, I think, very similar. So Built Well always does a great
Laconia?
party.
Have you done Laconia, either of you?
That is on my goal. I
I
want to do that
haven't.
one so bad.
I haven't done Laconia.
Dustin got to
Neither
go
have
last
we.
year for the Indy and Larry block party, and I was super jealous. But yeah, no, haven't done that one. My all-time favorite is Sturgis. I love Sturgis.
I
Sturgis
agree.
is the ultimate rally to me. That's one I'll never ever miss. I think this will be my 10th year riding to Sturgis. So
I think we're on the
really
same.
pumped on
That's
that.
good. Same here. 10th coming.
Yeah.
Right? We did it.
I
We've
think
been there
Yeah.
9.
for
I'm
10
pretty
years.
sure.
I think for us, we have not
We
done
might find a new
Laconia.
one.
The Tennessee one sounds like that would be fun too. We're not huge rally people, but I think probably my two favorites are Sturgis and Durango, Four Corners, just because the riding around both of those areas is, kind of spectacular. Born Free is an awesome show. We know the people that have been managing that and started that for years. There's another kind of smaller one that's growing out here called Live Fast. It's a really cool, it's a decent ride up there too. So yeah, I'd probably do those four.
But every trip that we've done around, we've been to so many beautiful places in this country and up in Canada. But every single year, no matter what trips we do, and with the Thrashing Boys and us, we always are very excited and look forward to Sturgis.
Yep.
That's like the number one. Hey, we got a great. Let's go. No one backs out. Everyone's on it, and
For
Let's
sure.
do it.
It's definitely
But
one to
we're-
rally the troops and go do. I am doing this summer the Mali Rally. We got
Oh.
signed up. We've got a group of 6 of us going to the UK.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for you guys for that one.
So I just signed up. It's a 7-day, it's a glamping situation. Like it's a whole thing. It's an event. But what we're going to be doing is every day we get the next destination the night before, where
Oh.
we're going to be like in these glamping tent situations. And they handle all that. It's a little bougie. I'm letting them do it. But
That's okay.
it's
Yeah.
generally like a classic bike, more of like a gentleman's ride kind of thing, from what I understand. But we're going to be like 5 Americans, maybe 6 Americans coming over on Harley-Davidsons, you know, because we
Nice.
got to represent. We're just gonna go be the rowdy Americans that show up with our group, and we're going to go take over this rally. And it's 7 days where we go from the southernmost tip of the UK all the way to the northernmost part of Scotland. So
Wow.
I'm really excited to do that and share
Yeah.
some stories from that as
I can't
well.
wait to hear all
That'll
about
be a great trip.
Are you guys going to film that?
Yeah, we are going to actually film that one. We've
Okay.
been kind of under the radar, but yeah, we're going to film that one.
And once you film that, where would they see that?
That would be on The Way We Roam.
Okay. Where
Yeah,
do where do the viewers find each of you? Instagrams and whatever. What?
The Grams. I've been
Oh,
on-
you're off for a minute, aren't you?
I might not have been on the internet in a while. I'm still off since November.
Okay.
So
I'm on
Let us-
Instagram and Facebook, and I think that's it.
if you
It's
follow
enough.
Red Rock Harley-Davidson, you can see both of what we're doing.
For sure. The majority of our life revolves around this place, as much as everybody else thinks, oh, they just have the fun job. They get to go do whatever they want.
We're
That's-
here.
We're
Positive
here.
that.
There's no doubt.
Yeah,
Hey,
We
you
can
can have
always
fun
talk
at your
with
job.
we do.
We
You
love
know.
our job.
Yeah.
Yes.
We choose to be here.
It's
fun.
a cool spot. This Red Rock has been such a cool place. Like it is really such a unique dealership, I feel like. And the team that they have, the talent that they attract, and like what we get to do with our community and how the community has grown here is
For
like
sure.
really awesome. And I think that's the cool part is the customers. You come in, I don't think there's a single day I come in that I don't bump into somebody.
For
And it's
sure.
like someone you recognize and you want to see how they're doing, whether it's our hog chapter members that are passing through, or we've got brand ambassadors that are hosting rides and trying to get people pumped about stuff. We've got people creating some really epic builds in the back. We've got some really talented technicians putting those bikes together. We're doing some really awesome stuff in service.
Absolutely.
And it's just like such a multifaceted thing. There's a lot going on under this roof, and we get the opportunity to invite people to come experience it for the different events. Not only are we excited to have you guys come join us for track day, but it'd be really cool if we could see you in the fall.
Yeah. We're doing something. Well, we do something every year.
Yeah, every year.
But our big stunt weekend, we're hoping to have a couple build-off people here. Maybe do some stuff with Hot Bike and a stunt team. So everything's in the works, and we try to roll it out at the right time so everybody gets excited about it. But we'd love to have you guys the first weekend of October. If you guys don't have anything booked already, it'd be really neat to have you guys at the dealership back up here and hanging out for a good time.
Yeah, that's one of the other big events we do. So we have a couple annual events that it's the biggest stunt show, I feel like,
In
out
Las
here.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean that I
Right.
know that other groups, dealerships in town do stunt shows and stuff, but I feel like just the amount of time we put into this
This is a
event and
big one,
creating
yeah.
it, we definitely have the biggest stunt show in Las Vegas that weekend.
And this one, it's
Well,
going to
we'll
be special.
have to
this
see what
year.
it brings.
We have a couple special activations and reveals that we are
Pretty pumped about.
might not be able to talk about yet, but if you follow Red Rock Harley on Instagram and stay tuned, we're excited to announce we might have some friends. Some of our mutual friends might be out.
Yep.
Swedland. So you guys should come hang out because there's some
For
big
sure.
stuff happening at this year's event the first week of October. But these are all things that Red Rock is pouring into the community. These are things we invest in because that's what this is all about. You know,
sure.
it's a business, and at the end of the day, it's that. But what we don't have a business if we don't have people who are passionate about riding motorcycles,
Yep.
passionate about training. We probably offer more trainings than any other dealership because we're pulling in people to do off-road. We did an off-road
Just an 80
2-day thing last month. We offer the ability to learn to ride Pan America or any. We left that open for ADV. We do skilled riders classes. We do the basic rider class. We do this track day with Champ U. We also are doing trike classes.
Yep. And we partner with people, different communities in Vegas to offer them those things. So like for the Sin City Moto Girls, we're doing a level up program. So every other month, we're going to have an activation for women to come in and just work on tight turns, the skills that we kind of don't ever practice. We're making that available for people. So
we also work with the Air Force Base. They have to do continued education like every 5 years. So now we work with the Air Force Base. They come in and send a group, I think once a month, where we do an advanced like classroom setting where we give more advanced training in the classroom and then do a guided ride as well. So
and it's all done here at Red Rock. So it's really neat to be able to bring those guys off of, out of their area and into a fun environment. So
yeah. And they
Are
definitely.
you guys going to come out to the Thrashing open house?
We should do that. When is that?
That's the 29th, right?
Yes, they're going to have a band. They're going to have a couple different food trucks. They're going to have some stunt shows. They're going to have a place where you can watch the Fueling Boys building a bike. They have a bike giveaway. It's going to be pretty interesting.
They're giving away a 2025
2LaneLIVE's
Street
going to
Bob.
be there.
Yeah.
2LaneLIVE's going to be there. Okay, done.
29th of this month?
We're supposed to go to Joshua Tree to go ride with the girls, but I mean, we'll be in California.
Oh man. If we can clear our schedule, make it happen. I know I'm working an off-road event the weekend.
Let's see.
Well, Josh put up the link and said there's 3 tickets left, and I just want to make a comment on that. You don't have to be local or in Vegas or a ride away. You can actually fly into Las Vegas, get yourself an EagleRider rental. Yep. And get one of these 3 tickets and come out to the track. And you have to be on a Harley-Davidson, as I understand it, right?
Yes.
And do we have to be booted?
No, your street clothes, street gear, whatever the way that you ride your motorcycle is the way we want you to come. Yeah. We're gonna ride in pajamas.
So Galen can wear his slip-on Vans.
It's your ride. It's not our ride.
March 29th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the Thrashing deal.
And then the first week in November is our open house, or not open house. Yeah, open house. It was a grand opening. So we're moving it back 30 days to when we originally had it. Okay. So we'll have a big group here as well. And then Gavin was on last week, and we're talking about doing a film release with her, either here at a restaurant that Josh and Lance went to today. So we probably have another event coming in the next month or two where we're going to try to bring female riders, and she's going to talk about the movie that they made for was it TNT? Yeah, TNT. Nice. So that should be cool.
But that's all about female riders.
Tag us
the history
in the, so we can if you guys
let us know whatever we can do,
repost and share that stuff too.
Yeah, I would love if you can help support it.
That would be awesome.
Well, we're up on the hour, guys, and it's always so wonderful to see you, and we're so excited to be there in a couple of weeks, a week and a half, and can't wait to meet Nick in person and Margot and some of the others. Is Cody still going to be there? Do you know?
Cody is.
Yeah, as far as we know.
Cody is, and Travis, I think, is going to be there this time.
Okay, cool. That'd be great. So we're excited and can't wait to do that. Someone had asked about whether the new shirts have the new style bikes in it.
I told them they'll find out tomorrow.
But we have like 20 of these left in stock that do have the new bikes on them, and they're pretty cool with the Eagle. Check them out.
For sure.
We're super excited to see you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that these guys should take away about this awesome dealership that you're at?
Come and see us.
See it. You just got to come see it.
Yeah, you got to be here. And if you ever are coming by, just check in at the front desk and say, is Maggie or Brandi here? And we can take you on a tour. It's our pleasure to, I mean, we do it all the time. We'll have people flying in from all over the world, and we head up to the front. We give them a tour of the dealership front to back and try to create a great experience for them. So come see us.
If you walk into the dealership, just walk in the first thing and stand, like go in about 20 feet and just stand there until Brandi finds you.
I'll definitely.
If she doesn't, Maggie will.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of us will be able to find you, get taken care of.
For sure.
Let me give the viewers just a little bit of an insight. Last year, we rode through 118-degree weather to get to you guys.
That's true.
And by the time we got off the freeway over to the dealership, I about lost it. And I was just like done. And I got off the bike and they're like, you can pull it in there. And I'm like, no, can you pull it in there? I need to go rest for a second. And it's on our drop that we did. We got handed a cold beer, and it was the best beer I think we've ever had.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was day one of a 21 day trip. And I'm like, I'm not going to drink until we get to Sturgis, like 7 or 8 days in or 10 days in, whatever. And after that stretch, you hand me a beer. I'm like, yep. Sure
I don't drink and I had a beer.
Yeah. Well, that's especially like, I know Vegas is such a good spot. Everybody coming from California, like on their way to Sturgis, we're kind of like the gateway in. And then anybody who's coming to California from Utah or any place usually ends up passing through Vegas. Like, especially this summer, please stop by, say hello.
Yeah,
let us give you cold beers.
And headed to Arizona.
And hydrated.
Yeah, and headed into Arizona, stop by, headed to Durango, stop by. Like, we're a great little break. There's couches in the service area. There's cold waters always.
We've got 2LaneLIVE playing on the big screen all the time in our service area.
You don't have to have a breakdown to stop by and see it.
Correct.
It's true. We prefer it that way. Just come hang out. Even if
you might want to buy a bike.
Right.
Maybe they'll entice you to buy a bike. And they've got a really good looking service manager.
You're not wrong about that.
You know, we met a guy in Deadwood twice, 2 years in a row, and him and his wife were riding to Sturgis, stopped in Wyoming or wherever, traded their bike and bought a new one and kept going to Sturgis.
We hear that all the time. Like, people will come in and I'm like, you're on your way to where? Awesome. This makes sense.
We're happy to do it. We just hope you get a little further than Vegas.
Yeah.
It's definitely
for
sure.
Hang tight for a minute. We're going to sign off and we'll be right back with you. But thank you. Can't wait to see you until the 23rd. Or 22nd, I think we'll see you.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you guys.
See you guys soon. And thank you
All
guys.
right.
See ya.
We're excited to have you.
Hang tight for a minute.
See you.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Those two have such great energy, and you can see that's why the dealership is so good. They have such a good group of people that work there, Dustin and Nick and them, and it's a great place to go. So go see them.
Yeah, you know, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to having coffee and donuts before we go, but you know what? I'm going to find a place and have some scrambled eggs before I go.
That may need to be at like 7. So
well, whatever.
Maybe
6
we
in
have
the morning,
hard-boiled
7.
eggs.
Yeah.
There you have it, folks.
Well, go take a look at the drop from yesterday. That was just a fun day and a half of us being at the shop, and make sure you put a note in there saying something about George, because I think he's going to love all those comments.
I think that we need to have George on a podcast, but we won't tell him that it's a podcast, and we'll just sit him in that chair and
just say, hey,
just
sit down for a little bit. We got to talk to you.
It'll just have to be like an 18+, you know.
Yeah, I think we might have
let
to
something slip.
Put some rating on that of some sort. But look, we've got some great designs showing up on Friday, tomorrow at noon. Jump in on those orders. Tell your friends. If it's 2 months from now, those shirts will not be available. So check out our other merchandise at 2LaneLIVE.com.
We
Get
have
some shirts. I'd show you, but I'm not going to show you.
I can't.
Are you wearing one right now?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Just show the little bit of the top.
Yeah, give him a little.
No.
little
No, they
slip.
have to wait till tomorrow.
All right.
So yes, anyway, if you haven't signed up to our email newsletter yet at 2LaneLIVE.com, go over there now. We'll send out an email newsletter, news blast, email blast, whatever you want to call it, at the time, when the shirts are ready, put it on Instagram, yada, yada. So yeah.
And thank you to Maggie and Brandi, and thank you to all of you that support us. And with that, we'll see you
Down
down
the
the
road.
road.
Down the road.